Good morning. Welcome to Hero Wars. Videos with good morning in the title have been doing better for me. So, welcome to the good morning series of videos. As long as it keeps working, I'll keep doing it. I got my hot water. And I got my phone. And I got lots of stuff. First, let's have a battle. I'm gonna purposely lose this fight. I would put the sound on, but it would be copyright infringement. Alright, let's see. I've got this Defenders comic. We can take a look at that later. Defenders used to be one of my favorite comics. What's also good about looking at these is you get to see all the old ads. Here's one from the past. King Kong from 1977. I actually like this movie with Jeff Bridges. Oh, he's standing on the Twin Towers, World Trade Center. Of course, that's an impossibility. They were a lot farther apart. Movie poster fiction logic. Okay. Oh, and here's Valkyrie. I don't know if you're supposed to call her Valkyrie or Valkyrie. I always called her Valkyrie as a kid. Here's the cover. Issue number 45. Oh, there's Hellcat and Nighthawk. Some woman in a red costume. What is her name? Crimson Tide? I have no idea. Oh, and Luke Cage, Power Man. I always liked it better when he was just Luke Cage. Oh my goodness. 204 Revolutionary War soldiers. Only 225. Oh my goodness. Hey, there's Doctor Strange. Sometimes I look at magazines backwards. It's a Japanese tradition. Subscribe. I like this drawing style. See, I like this stuff better than the new anime style of comics. With lots of good line work. I just like it better. I think it is better. Okay, there's Defenders number 45. Maybe one of these days I'll read it. Okay, let's see. What else are we doing? I'll put on my glasses. I was gonna make an entire video just of tabletop role-playing game on Wikipedia. But maybe I'll just read it from here and see how it goes. A tabletop role-playing game TTRPG or TRPG, also known as a pen and paper role-playing game, is a kind of role-playing game in which the participants describe their characters' actions through speech and sometimes movements. Participants determine the actions of their characters based on their characterization, and the actions succeed or fail according to a set formal system of rules and guidelines, usually involving randomization, such as through dice. Within the rules, players have the freedom to improvise, and their choices shape the direction and outcome of the game. Neither pen and paper nor a table are strictly necessary for a game to count as a TTRPG. Rather, the terms pen and paper and tabletop are typically used to distinguish this format of RPG from role-playing video games or live-action role-playing games. Online play of TTRPGs through video conferencing has become common since the COVID-19 pandemic. Since common examples of tabletop role-playing games include Dungeons & Dragons, Call of Cthulhu, and Pathfinder. Gameplay overview. In most games, a specially designated player, typically called the Game Master, GM, purchases or prepares a set of rules in a fictional setting in which each player acts out the role of a single character. The GM describes the game world and its inhabitants. The other players describe the intended actions of their characters, and the GM describes the outcomes. Some outcomes are determined by the game system, and some are chosen by the GM. This pattern was established by the first published role-playing game, Dungeons & Dragons, but is not universal across all tabletop RPGs. Well, is that really true? If you have a limited number of people to play the game with you, sometimes people take on two characters, and sometimes they take on hirelings and henchmen. Okay. Detail. Games are of indefinite length, from a single brief session, sometimes completed in a few hours, to a series of repeated sessions that may continue for years with an evolving cast of players and characters. Play is often episodic and mission-centric, with a series of challenges culminating in a final puzzle or enemy that must be overcome. Multiple missions played with the same characters may be related to each other in a plot arc of escalating challenges. The exact tone, structure, pace, and end, if any, vary from game to game, depending on the needs and preferences of the players. During the first session, players typically create characters whose roles they will play in the game. As well as fleshing out the character's personal history and background, they assign numerical statistics to the character. These will be used later to determine the outcome of events in the game. Together, these notes tell the player about their character and said character's place in the game world. In many game systems, characters can increase their statistics during the course of the game or over multiple games. The GM then begins the game by introducing and describing the setting and the characters. Specific tabletop RPGs may have a unique name for the GM role. For examples, Dungeon Master, Referee, and Storyteller. Some games, such as Polaris and Primetime Adventures, have distributed the authority of the GM to different players and to different degrees. This technique is often used to ensure that all players are involved in producing a situation that is interesting and that conflicts of interest suffered by the GM are avoided on a systemic level. This technique is often used to ensure that all players are involved in producing a situation that is interesting and that conflicts of interest suffered by the GM are avoided on a systemic level. I just can't get that sentence right. The players describe their character's actions, and the GM responds by describing the outcome of those actions. Usually, these outcomes are determined by the setting and the GM's common sense. Most actions are straightforward and immediately successful. For example, if a player has their character look around a room, the GM will describe the room. If they have their character leave, the GM will describe whether they encounter outside the room. The outcomes of some actions are determined by the rules of the game. For example, while looking around the room, a character may or may not notice an important object or secret doorway, depending on the character's powers of perception. Determining the outcome usually involves rolling dice and adjusting the result for the character's statistics and environmental factors to see whether the action was successful. Typically, the higher the character's score in a particular attribute, the higher their probability of success. There are alternate game systems which are diceless or use alternate forms of randomization, such as a deck of cards or a Jenga tower. And if you're a DM and you really want your players to find a secret door, then what you do is you pull the thief aside and you say, "Hey, buddy, you missed something. Maybe you should look in this room more thoroughly." And then they come back in, and then the thief says, "I want to look around in the room. Aha, you found a secret door. And now we can go to the part of the adventure that I planned hours for." Okay. Is that good, or should I go on? Tabletop RPG settings includes challenges for the player characters to overcome through play, such as traps to be avoided, rulers to be courted, or adversaries to be fought. Many game sessions contain moments of puzzle solving, negotiation, chases, and combat. Frequently, this involves interacting with non-player characters, other denizens of the game world, which are played by the GM. In most games, the full details of the setting are kept secret, but some broad details of the game world are usually given to the players. Tabletop RPGs are often conducted like radio drama. Only the spoken component of a role is acted. Acting in tabletop RPGs is not always literal, and players do not always speak exclusively in character. Instead, players act out their role by deciding and describing what actions their characters will take within the rules of the game. Okay, so I'm putting my phone into my pocket. I'm grabbing my hot water. I found $4 on the stairway yesterday, so I can put that for gas or something else I might need. Okay, this shelf I'm just gonna put items. Let's see. I'm going down to the car because I want to show that it's morning. I need the hotel key card so I can get back in. I just want to show the PlayStation 1 setup. It still works as far as I know. So we have Gran Turismo and a couple of other games. So we'll try and get that to work. We're just moving in. I'll see you in a while. I didn't film you. Okay. She doesn't want to be filmed anyway. One day. Sometimes she'll talk while I'm filming. I think people probably want to hear her, but I don't think she wants to be heard. Well, I stop and think, I'd have to ask her. Well, see, it's hard to say. If she doesn't want to do something, that's how it is. Okay. I feel uncomfortable sometimes performing in front of her. She's not really an active participant in my videos. She might be one day. I don't know if she really wants to be in videos. Okay. I still haven't shaved yet. I have to bring that toilet paper up to the place. We're running low. Okay, let's see if I can get set up here. I found an Island Magic the Gathering card. Okay. I'm doing long videos just because that's what you're supposed to do. Good morning. It's a beautiful day. The sky is out and the clouds are running. The rain is falling upwards. There's a flying saucer going across the sky. There's also the Starship Enterprise, a squadron of X-Wings, and there's a big weather balloon. The Sopwith camels up there fighting the Red Baron. Someone's jumping into the swimming pool up there. There's a big bathtub with a giant woman taking a bath. She's about 50 feet tall. There's a cat throwing cheese at a mouse over on the ground over there. Then the mouse hits the cat with a big hammer. So, a couple of my trolls, maybe I ought to call them the Troll Brigade. They're my Baba Booies. I had some odd dreams about my childhood, and my daughter was there, and in the dream there was another baby, her brother, her younger brother. So Susie had a baby brother named Adam, named after the Adam in Bewitched TV show. Darren and Samantha eventually had 2 kids. But that's when the show became almost unwatchable. So yeah, I had a dream where I was back home in Bountiful, Utah, and the neighbor kids were there, and my younger brother was there, and we were playing softball. And there were neighborhood activities going on. I don't think about those times all that much. Actually, I think about them all the time. Okay. Thanks for watching another good morning video. I like this wood fence a lot. It says, pick up after your pet.